Testing 1 2. There we go. Okay, now you can hear me. Good grief. So yeah, guess what, everybody? Everything decided to break this morning. Hi, welcome to Saturday Morning Legion. I'm here with Moon and Saib, and we will have the actual screen up right away here. But because Discord decided to update and a bunch of other things decided to break, everything's broken. Hey, Saib and Moon, how are you this morning?
Good.
Oh, getting there. Yeah.
We had the same thing. Like last night, I get everything ready for today, and I put my computer to sleep, and I turn it on in the morning, and everything is gone. Everything's off. The computer started up its restart cycle, cleaned up, did all these updates, and I'm like, why are you doing this now? Like, why now? Like, not, you couldn't have done this like, oh, the other 5 times that it restarted this week so far? Yeah.
Right.
So by the way, you're still sounding really muffled. I don't know if you fixed your microphone, but
It's right in front of me. Muffled microphone.
So my apologies to everybody who is already live here with us in the live chat. We will get this fixed ASAP. Actually, I will.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Oh, Moon, you sound great. Okay, good.
Hooray! Sound check success.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that would be why. It was on my backup microphone.
Oh, derps.
Well, that explains it. And
Yeah.
I'll actually put up on the screen why this is happening right now. Because
again, I forgot that because Discord restarted last night, it reset all my default statuses on all of my machinery going into Discord. I
fun. Yeah.
want to murder this thing so badly right now.
Hi, everybody. You can now see me on the screen. And you can also see this news story about Discord updating things, including its logo, and how not everybody is a fan of this. I had a conversation about this with a few folks in the live chat, in voice chat yesterday on Discord. Let us know what you think of the new Discord logo. Also, let us know what you think, if anybody out there is playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Please let us know what you think of it. We have some other news stories to discuss as well. Anyway, so Moon, I'll need your cam and your artboard up.
Did you want my my voice thingy up?
Yeah, if you have it ready to go, sure.
Yeah, I'll put it up here.
So again, serious apologies for all of the technical snafus, but it should be a fun show today. We're gonna play some AI Dungeon later. Plus, we have some interesting news stories to discuss. And if we run out of things to do, I grabbed some fun game demos that I think would that I thought would be funny if we get to them. Anyway. Kisuke says, I can hear clearly now, the music's gone. Oh, copyright strike.
Oh, no.
Okay, there's the Saib.
Still getting that.
Moon's getting hers up, so I'll have those windows fixed right away. But anyway, so yeah, lots to talk about today. We have The Starfield leaks are coming hot and heavy.
Yeah, more out today. Not leaks, but like more info coming out today. I also want to address why we aren't showing the leaks. So it was a little confusing for people on Tuesday. So we're not showing leaks not because they're not important or not because they're um, not because we're scared of Bethesda. Bethesda is really good with their content creators. They haven't done things to content creators like other studios have done to theirs. Like diehard fans who were only wanting to talk about the game. So we're not scared of them in that respect, and we're not kowtowing to that in that respect either. But one of the things that we've decided to do is to rein in some of the hypeness of jumping on titles and just you know exploding all over them, so to speak. And
Phrasing.
Starfield is yeah, that's intentional. Starfield is one of them. Look, I am personally very excited for Starfield, but there's no way I can reasonably expect anybody else to be, and there's no way I can reasonably try to drive that, because we don't know if they have learned their lessons. We don't know if this is going to come with microtransactions. We don't know if the game is going to be polished. We don't know if it's going to be a bug-riddled mess like all of their releases have in the last like decade and a half. It's at this point that I'm going to be talking about Starfield. Obviously, we're going to be covering it. Obviously, we're going to be pre-ordering it to buy it, to play it, to showcase it. We're not going to be pre-ordering.
That's us as content creators.
Yes, that's us as content creators. No, and I do not encourage anybody else to pre-order this thing. If you really like what you see, wait until the very day, the 6 hours before it's released, or however long you need to preload it to pre-order it. But even then, I'm like, only if you are convinced. And at this point, that should be a tall order for pretty much everybody. I mean, it just is. There's so little that they've apologized, and for me, this is good enough. I am happy now with their with what they've done in regards to 76, as far as Todd coming out, admitting that they screwed up. Ultimately, it took them a while to get there, but they did offer refunds for anybody who wanted it. As far as I know, there were very few people still having that issue. One of the court cases that they're getting taken to court over has been dropped because the judge was like, all of they offered refunds to everybody. Again, it took them a while, and we berated them and we refused to cover it for that duration. But now with Todd saying yes, there wasn't literally anything we didn't mess up or drop the ball on. And between the immense amount of fixes in 76, the fact that they are bringing out their PTR, their test realm, for a good 2 months before the next drop, that means that they want players to be engaged in the process of fixing stuff. And from the outside looking in, I see a lot of really solid progress in the way of like Bethesda fixing a lot of these problems. And I think, again, I've said this time and time and time before, I think the biggest part of this is that ZeniMax is no longer calling the shots. ZeniMax is no longer in control. The people who were at ZeniMax making a lot of these decisions, well, one of them died, and then the other ones were given golden parachutes and were shown the door. A handful of people moved over to work with Microsoft from ZeniMax, but ZeniMax as an entity is dead now. It is buried and gone. They transferred it over to be a sub company of some Microsoft thingy, which was really, really funny in the way that it was done, because it was similar to what you do with a sinking ship, like a ship that you're sinking on purpose. It's like, you're lining up, you blow the whistle, you blow you open the what are those things called? The port windows or whatever, and the thing just slowly starts to sink, and everybody just stands and watches it sink. Because of things like that, because of the process and how they're doing this, yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm again, I'm not happy with 76's current iteration, but I'm happy that they didn't abandon this. Aside from a handful of those like microtransactions that came in to offer them stuff, or offered them a solution to the problem that they created, which apparently now has become much less of an actual problem. And you you're not most players I've talked to say that there's no way they would buy those microtransactions because they are frankly unneeded. And they've done so through recent patches. So that all says to me that they're moving in a new, better direction. And and again, I really, really hope that this is the case. But I cannot assure you guys, you guys are fans, I cannot assure our community that this is what they're going to do. I simply can't look at Bethesda and say, "Oh yeah, they're completely fixed now." I think they are, and I think that there's still many people complaining about the engine and just talking smack about it and how like it's an 87-year-old engine and it's garbage. It's like y'all know that the Epic engine is basically the same engine that they started out with like all those years ago. Like these engines are not things that like
They
they
get
constantly
updated, they get
upgrade. Yeah.
changed, they get
Yeah.
improved, yeah, exactly. So the engine, I mean, again, all of this is stuff that we will see
Mhm.
when the game actually comes out. We will see
Yeah.
how how it operates, how the engine's been improved. We know that they've been putting a lot of work into the engine.
There's a lot of promise that they've upgraded the most common request is the updated motion capture or
Mhm.
slash animation engine. That's one of the primary complaints about the game, and I've been complaining about the jumping forever. Like the jumping in Skyrim feels just about as bad as it did in Fallout 3. Like I mean it's terrible. Like it is hot garbage.
Hmm.
And yeah, is that going to be something that they're going to fix? Well, I don't know. They didn't fix it for Fallout 4, so they made some allusions to the fact that they have upgraded it. I've heard a lot of rumors. I've been hearing a lot of. I know that they recently built a mocap studio, in Maryland. Well, I don't know but for sure. Try saying that like 8 times fast. But
For sure, for sure, for
just
sure.
the yeah, right, exactly. But just generally speaking, I have more confidence in what they're doing now than I did a year ago, and way more than I did 2 years ago. When we were dealing with the whole 76 thing at probably the worst stage of it the worst stage that it could possibly be in. So again, we're dialing back a little bit of the hype. We will still cover the news. We're still going to talk about it, but considering that I still believe that there's a very good chance that these leaks have been done on purpose. I don't want to play that game, right? Like I don't want to play that playing into their hype factory. I'm going to be reasoned, and of course we're going to cover things that are valid, that are official, but we're not playing into what could be just a play at the at trying to like control the narrative, right? So that's the kind of thing that we're gonna
Right.
try to
Which is
avoid.
fair. Yes, exactly. I mean, there's definitely, I mean, I'm at the point where, yes, Bethesda still has to prove themselves. They still have, they've got a long way to go in order to do that. But I'm interested in Starfield. What we've seen from the screenshots, the leaks, everything that's coming out, it looks really interesting. Graphically, it looks really good. And if the game is if it's a quality game, like, again, this is one that, as you've said, this has kind of been Todd's baby for a long time. So here's hoping that they do a really good job, and we'll see how this new Bethesda, owned by Microsoft, we'll see how they do. Yes, we're still at the point of wanting to, they need to prove themselves. But what we've seen over the last few days is that there's a lot of interest in this game, and so we will keep covering it. in the hopes that it will be good. But again, Hype Train will be...
The news out today is that 100% the game is definitely an Xbox exclusive. And a lot of the articles covering this were doing so in a fairly like tongue-in-cheek manner. It's like, in case you were wondering if it was still a question, no, you're not going to be playing Bethesda games on a PlayStation 4 anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's, that info came from Jeff Grubb. By the way, hi, Moon. You are on the screen. And you're muted. Just FYI.
Hooray.
Yes, good, awesome.
Success. Yes,
Good.
and also Luna has joined us because I put her there.
She's like bigger than your head.
Yep.
It's kind of just pet the giant cat
Hi,
head.
little girl. Wish.
Pet the giant kitty. Yes, okay. So I've got you on the big window now, and that one lined up properly. I don't know why everything else is being silly. So if I open that note, that's in the wrong place. So I'm gonna have to fix that. But anyway, before I do that, I'm going. Oh, clicking wrong things here. So yeah, I wanted to read some of your chat messages here. So Kisuke says, definitely interested in Starfield. Will, of course, wait a couple of weeks after launch before thinking about buying, but still interested. Yeah. I mean, we'll be playing it here as soon as we can, but that's because we cover, we cover content, we cover games, so we'll definitely, we have a different interest in it for that reasons. So definitely not trying to encourage anyone to get overhyped or to to go out and pre-order or anything like that. Also, Kisuke says, Ash, no need to stress. It all worked out in the end. Yeah, I know. Well, I appreciate that. You're seeing the duct tape behind the production right now.
Yes.
So,
no. When I started
again,
up my computer, my screens were misaligned for some reason. I went to go check my alignment of my monitors, and it's like 1 inch, and I was like, why? Why this 1 single inch just offset? Just
and I don't know why it's
really
all
weird.
misaligned on Discord, or not on Discord, on OBS right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Arturo says, good morning, Simon Moontag.
Good morning.
And then later I saw him say, good morning, Ash. But then that message got removed. So I don't know what it is with Arturo.
Oh, maybe it's just morning Ash, not necessarily like just morning, just plain, no trims.
It's like a meme now that Arturo is dissing me. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. So what are you drawing today, Moon? That looks like
spacey stuff.
Spacey stuff. That looks like some legs. Oh, we've got... Okay. Gonna be some spicy art today. So Notional says, Sony just announced 25 PS5 exclusive games in development. I guess they don't care. I mean, it's going to be an aspect of the competition now, right? By the way, so yeah. Jeff Grubb confirmed apparently that that Starfield's going to be only PC and Xbox, but how does he know that? I was curious. Is it just because he's connected and he talks to people? Picking on now Notional's picking on Arturo. All in good fun, man. All in good fun. All right, there were definitely more messages I wanted to read here. Tarika says, I'm not going to pre-order Starfield until I see real gameplay. Absolutely. In fact, I would say don't buy it until it comes out and you read reviews.
I actually don't think that you're going to be able to pre-order it until after they do the full showcase. So that should not hopefully be an issue. But if it is, then I mean, I guess we're still stuck in the nightmare that is the current gaming landscape. So
sure. And
buy this game that we haven't shown you. Yeah. It's a
No.
pre-ordered version, yes.
Yeah, well, it's the game has been. Now it's not letting me move that. Are you kidding me? Oh, I know why. Heh. Because it was grouped. There we go. No, that's not where it goes. That's where Moon goes, right there. There we go. I mean, the game's barely been announced. Like they did that one little teaser bit, and then that was it. I mean,
Now, as far as what it actually truly is, we don't actually know that yet. We have no idea what it is currently going to end up being. All we can see for the moment is that, it's a sci-fi something. And that sci-fi something is obviously going to take its obviously is going to take the full showcase for us to kind of get the grip of it. I have more or less kind of like this idea of in my head of what it is, what it's about, the focus on it. But again, it's like I think it's still too soon, and I don't want to feed into that hype thing. So I'm going to keep that to myself for now. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it to myself for now, and hope that again they manage to make it good, and they manage to make it right.
Yes, indeed. I cannot believe the problems I'm having with OBS right now. I put the art window there where it's supposed to be,
and it goes somewhere else.
I lock it in place, and then I go to move. Now Moon has just disappeared, of course. Oh, you're on the big window still. You're on the big window, but the small window that's supposed to have. Oh my goodness! I cannot believe this. There's the
yeah.
Okay.
Keyscape brings us up again. Yes, this is a very valid point. Outriders got meh. Like Outriders started out so strong. Their demo was so good, and then launch came, and apparently Square Enix has no idea or no ability to actually run servers, which is sad on so many levels. Because again, they had literally the server space for 100,000 people to show up on Avengers, but they refused to bring any of that tech over to host Outriders instead, and that I'd say collectively that basically killed the game. The user base went from 100,000 people playing Outriders on a daily basis to now, if it's lucky if it breaks 2K in a single day. Like that is a 98% drop in your player base. And it didn't help that they were I don't know if you I don't know if I hate putting maliciousness where or stupidity where there's not, but the stupidity of them taking the game and nerfing a bunch of stuff before they buffed other things, like it's so counter to everything that you should know from game development. You never in a game that requires significant balance, you never ever just take unless there's something clearly ridiculously wrong, which you have to nerf by 50% or more. You never take away without buffing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many builds, and there's an entire bloody class in a 4-class game, where the 3 other classes in the game are like, can manage content fine, and then this other class is just garbage. It's just trash. It just cannot do anything. And you look at that scenario and you're like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's like, okay, wow, you suck really badly.
Well, and this is, by the way, was Outriders AAA or was it a smaller budget game?
Well, no, I'd say AA. It wasn't AAA. It was AA. But again, the question of balance again comes down to developers knowing the core tenets behind class game balance in a multiplayer game. In a game where where you have multiple classes and people playing together. It doesn't matter if it's PvP or PvE. I mean, if it's PvP, then it's obviously a bigger deal if it's PvE. But in a PvE environment, you want to bring balance to things, and you want to do that as quickly and as efficiently as you can without alienating players. If you have a group of 5 players, there's 5 friends, and 2 of them are playing role A and B, and A and B are very, very strong. They are arguably too strong for the game right now, and players A and B are carrying the other 3 people through harder content than the group should legitimately be able to take hold of without giving them a proper sloping gradual incline. What you want to do is you want to buff the other 3 classes if it's a class issue, or the other 3 specs if it's a spec issue, and you want to do that at the same time that you nerf down or trim down gently the power spiking problem of the other characters. Because what happens, and this has happened, WildStar is probably the best example of this. I was enjoying WildStar. There were a lot of issues with the game. There were a lot of bugs. There were a lot of problems. And most people in my guild at the time, of like 120 people, were in agreement that there was problems, but they were working on improving them. They were working on fixing them. They were getting around to it, so to speak.
Right.
And this is the big thing that, we were as a community looking at, nodding our heads and saying, yes, absolutely. I understand that you're taking some time and you need this. Sure thing. But then the Nerf bat came. Before the buffs, the Nerf bat came. And the Nerf bat came and hit so hard that a bunch of us who are extremely good players, and again, I have to iterate that this was we were pushing world firsts in our kills. So we were not scrubs. We know how to play games. We like, me especially, I know how to play my class. The patch came out and I could no longer play the role with my class that I was playing. The numbers were physically not there. I was a tank, and before I would get hit by boss A in encounter A, and I would get hit for exactly 50% of my hit points, giving the healers about 2 to 3 seconds to heal me up before I received another 50% hit point hit. That patch made it so that the boss in that same scenario now did 120% of my hit points and damage. Again, I'm really simplifying.
So you were 120. So unless you had some armor on
120%.
top of that, that was a one-shot kill.
No. That was with my armor. So I was getting one shot by the boss at every encounter.
Wow.
So so my choices there were to either wait for them to because it wasn't a spec issue, it wasn't a balance of gear, like none of those were the issue. The issue, and it was worse for people who were playing with less skill and less gear than I was.
Yeah. So this just what's going on with the major? The reason I asked why, if you could call Outriders a AAA game is what's going on with the AAA industry right now, or even larger AA games like Outriders. That stuff like this is constantly happening. We're having these terrible releases. We're having studios going back in after the fact and mucking with stuff. We had that with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. With, from what I understand, haven't played it myself, but from what I understand, a very excellent game. And yet they've gone in and messed with the XP and then added buyable things, microtransactions, etc. What's going on with the industry right now? Why is all this crap happening?
Well, again, it's like it boils down to that WildStar thing where the devs were they looked at my class and they said, well, they're doing so much better than they should be doing, and instead of bringing that down or balancing or creating some balance for that, their immediate gut reaction was to just like pull the trigger too early, do something that just ruined the class completely, and then to look at the people who were complaining and say, "Well, stop complaining, guys."
Well, yeah,
And that was
like
the reaction. So my result, and that guild went from 120 of some of the best players on that game to about 12 in less than a week.
it's
And because what happens when you get the first, what happens when I quit? Well, I'm the lead tank, so I'm the lead tank. Nobody else can fill in for my position because they don't have the gear or the experience. So that ruins the raid. So everybody's not able to raid the next day. So they all basically are done with the game. They all move on to something else. So that leaves the support and secondary people who are, wanting to get a spot in the main raid to try and come in and fill in. They attempt to come in and do content and they can't, or they have to completely restructure or re-roll, in which case most of the people are like, well, screw this, I'm out. I have no interest in doing this. And so it's just this cascade effect. And again, this is the cascade effect that we saw in the Outriders, is that they, again, it wasn't just the balance issues, it was the fact that they refused to rebalance the weaker things and to bring about this stuff. And again, it's this it's quite possibly some educational issues. And I suspect that it's very likely that it's an educational issue. Is my screen not coming through on the?
you know what? Well, you sent it through as a live stream, and I can't watch more than one. Apparently, go figure.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why Discord doesn't have that. If you can find a way to put it through as like your webcam, then it might work. But otherwise,
Okay. Well,
it's not going to work.
All right. Well, I was just going to turn it off then, so
Yeah.
not consuming the extra resources. But at any rate,
At any rate, yeah, you can't just, if rebalancing is a delicate art, you can't just go in
yes,
and
yes.
make some massive change, make some change in isolation without considering how it's going to affect the rest of the ecosystem.
And Riot Games has encountered this multiple times before, where they went in to go and quote unquote fix something, and they overtuned it, and it made a large base of their players stop playing. Like not massive, but like a significant number. So with this being an issue, they have decided to quite clearly focus on reducing that heavy impact. When they nerf something, they do it in small increments, and they always try to like buff something else. So if they look at a laundry list of characters being played in the meta, and and this always happens. And this is what some people don't understand about game development, and especially things where you have a lot of different characters. The meta is always going to showcase a top like 1 or 2% of games being played in WoW at a high tier level being primarily one and or two, or not one or two, but like that 1 or 2 percent is going to reflect the number of characters or like builds and that kind of stuff. So Riot, in League of Legends, I think they have like something ridiculous now. It's over 100 characters, right? So in top tier games is like less like 5 characters are basically the best in slot, and then the other ton or group or whatever you want to reference it as is that they're significantly lower, right? Like they're, and some of those characters don't even show up in the top 100 list of games played, let alone something else. So that's fairly significant, right? Like those numbers are fairly significant. So what they do is they look at those bottom run characters, and they are constantly engaged in doing revamps. So some of their revamps have failed spectacularly, and I quit playing the game because of one of them that absolutely ruined one of my favorite characters, made it unplayable for me as a person who enjoyed that, because they changed the whole flow of the character, and by doing that, you change and you ruin the experience that people had with it. If you have an archer character who's like really focused on making like pinpoint strikes and that kind of thing, and then you suddenly change the character so that they're a melee character that involves like dive bombing other characters, like don't do that. Make a new character. Like balance the archer in some way that doesn't involve you destroying that character. And if you really want to have a dive bomby range character, just make a new one for bloody sake. And so that's more or less kind of what we're that's more or less what again game developers are should be taught through experience. And I don't know where they're getting this idea that no, we're going to come in and we're going to hit things with a band hammer. And it's like maybe the developers who are doing that today were sitting around in games like 10 years ago where that was a common practice. Maybe that's what's going on. But then again, it's like, well, why? Like how did you not remember what that felt like where you suddenly couldn't play your main anymore because they they literally just destroyed the character? Like do you
But guys, it's tradition.
Yeah, maybe that's the way they think about it. I mean that's the way I mean you get a lot of that in the college experience with uh darn, what's that term called where they punk and or like beat the newbies, the freshmen.
Oh, that's the hazing or something.
Hazing,
Some
the
kind of
hazing.
initiation.
Yeah. So that in the hazing rituals that we've encountered, like that you encounter in college, maybe that's kind of where they think that comes from. He's like, man, you got to take your lumps. Take your lumps first. You got to learn to take your lumps.
I have my doubts that that's the motivation behind it. But anyway, I mean,
Maybe
Stretch, but possibility.
at this point, I'm literally throwing out ideas because I don't understand, nor can I comprehend why on earth these developers are so intent on destroying their own games. And it's not just Outriders. Like Blizzard is making this mistake again, even though they have more experience with this than almost any other company out there. They've been running World of Warcraft for over 15, 16 years now. And still this idea of nerf bat time, gonna come in and whack this down and it's like dude, there are whole specs. Like, you know, most classes in the game, there's a bunch of classes, and most classes have 3 specs. There are some specs that are not that they don't even show up on the played list. Like when you look at you know the thing as a whole, they're just not there. And their reaction to this is sometimes very confusing and like why have you destroyed this class, you know? And again, I mean I fall into this. I play when I do MMOs, I very very rarely play more than a single spec of a single class. In World of Warcraft I am a paladin tank, period. A long time ago I was a rogue, and a very PvP minded rogue at that. But I don't do that anymore. I am exclusively now. I don't even have a rogue even close to cap level. I don't even play WoW right now. But it's like it's this madness, right? That they have to come in and they have to do something in particular. Hold on.
well, yeah, I have to feel like some of it's a knee jerk reaction. Like, oh, we've got to
Yeah.
change something.
Well,
maybe just
it's a
try
bit of
this or
it's a combination of I think what it is what you can boil it down to is that it's a combination knee jerk reaction as well as a and Blizzard has a Blizzard not just Blizzard, Riot, bunch of other companies in the past, they have had this problem with egoism in their developers. Their developers believe that they are right all the time and that they know more about how to design a class and a character than the scrubs and the masses playing their game. And I have seen this in person. I've seen this in many different fields in person. There was an idiot that my first experience with an idiot like this. My very first experience was an idiot in the I was young. I was probably like about 11, and I was working with my dad at a greenhouse, assisting him on growing plants. Anyways, there's a particular plant that you're supposed to like after it grows past 10 inches. If you want it to look a certain way, you have to trim it down at 7 inches, and then the plant regrows, but it regrows shorter and much more fuller. So 7 inches, you have to cut it at 7 inches. The guy came in and cut it at 3 inches, which killed the plant. All of the plants died. And my dad was having this argument with this guy, going, "Why did you cut it at 3 inches? You ruined all of them." And he said, "No, 3 inches is how they do the best. It's not my fault that they all died." And he's like,
What?
everybody on the planet who's engaged in greenhousing that sells these plants knows that you cut it 7 inches, not 3. And he goes, "No, they're all wrong. I know what's best." But you just killed an entire harvest, an entire crop, an entire year of these plants have been ruined because you cut it at 3 inches instead of 7 inches. And the person continues to say, "No, I know what's best. Everybody else is an idiot." And
So
again,
we've got that going on in
I
game.
think well, I mean, you have that going on, and this is my point. You have that going on literally everywhere, right? Like there's no industry that avoids this typically. I mean, Moon and I work in a very serious industry that has very serious consequences for people who make mistakes. Um, if you don't end up killing somebody, you end up banned outright from being able to work on certain projects or with certain companies if you're wrong once. So it is a very, very frustrating, difficult field to work in. And you still encounter these kinds of people from time to time there as well. They don't last very long because they typically just end up burning out very, very quickly. But you have to be able to understand, when you're wrong, or the scenarios around that, and then you have to find solutions for it.
Well, I think there's another
So,
issue. I think that there's an issue with how developers respond to emergent gameplay. Do you try to
mhm.
shut it down? Do you try to, or do you let people run with it? Do you let them play your game the way they have kind of decided to play it? I don't know. Makes me think of Fall Guys, which is not. I mean, it's not. It doesn't have the popularity it had at launch, but um, this trope popped up where if you wind up on a team, in one of the 3 team games, you gang up
Mhm.
on yellow. So that's something that's not something the developers put in there. That's something that the players came up with as a strategy. So now
Right?
it's now I mean it's a bummer if you wind up on yellow team. But what do you do about that? Do you turn around and give yellow team a huge buff? Well, that's you know then they'll just turn around and gang up on red. Like, how do you respond? And I understand it's a delicate kind of situation, but yeah, do you stifle like when Outriders, when people started playing Outriders and the developers got surprised by what was going on, so they turned around and nerfed everything so people couldn't play the way they were enjoying playing. That destroyed their game. That Outriders is almost dead in the water now. Bad move. Just a bad move. Um, Probably better to say, oh well, let's like you've been saying, let's maybe some rebalancing, but let's not kill the enjoyment that everybody's getting out of it. But by they
Exactly.
want to play this, they want to play as these powerful characters. Yeah, they blasted through your content a lot faster than you expected, but I
Well, and
think
that's the other thing too, is like these people, again, every developer should know that your content is going to be chewed through a lot faster than you think it is.
mhm.
99% of content, and it's probably a lot smaller than that, is 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 consumed and dug out faster and quicker than you could possibly imagine. In Let's take Fallout 4 as an example. Yeah, Fallout 4. Yes, it was Fallout 4. So Fallout 4 has had a whole bunch of secrets and special encounters and all kinds of stuff, like really hidden gem kind of stuff. Some of it's as small as like a tiny reference. Um, Others had major like plot implications, and it was Todd Howard who came out and said, "I was looking, and there's one secret in the game that still hasn't been discovered, and we thought that it would be discovered like really early on." And he has continued to iterate that no, there's still one secret that it was a bit. It's a puzzle. It's a little bit of a thing. It's a puzzle that you don't notice is not presented to you as a puzzle immediately. It's a
It's
puzzle
something
you
you
have to
have to
discover.
kind of discover organically.
Yeah, and then you have to find the solution to that puzzle in a unique / interesting way.
Yeah.
And again, could he be lying? Well, maybe, but I'm
It's
inclined
just
I'm inclined to believe him because this stuff happens all the time in game development. You think that everybody's going to get this one thing, and then nobody does, and you're just waiting for people to discover it. But because, and again, if you're a good game developer, you never ever 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 tell them that it's there.
I think
You
that
never
happened
say-
in
You never say, hey, there's a puzzle here and you guys are missing it. Try XYZ. I learned that at a young age. Do not give hints to puzzles. Try to be as absolutely bland as you possibly be, and just give some nods every once in a while to general questions like, well, did I find all the puzzles? And you like go through them again, and then they list them, and you go, nope, no, you didn't find them all. And don't don't say, oh well, yeah, this is going to be this way and that's going to be that way, and oh this, oh you can't wait for you to experience that. You don't tell them anything like that. You just kind of nod slowly and go, yeah, no, there's still more there. There's still more.
That
Oh.
would be nice because like somebody literally ruined playing Skyrim for me because they were so excited to tell me about all the armor sets I could get, and they explained in great detail how to get all of them. I was like, all right then, I guess I don't have to go explore anymore since I know what's going to happen.
Well,
Discovery.
I mean, I don't know why would they tell you that when there's all those modded armors that are, I know
They
where
were
to get them
playing on
all
a
too. It's called Nexus Mods, or
Yeah, you can have any armor you want.
or
You can-
maybe that other one that we cannot name on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's bring this back around to Starfield though, because I think we went on a whole bunch of tangents there, which is all right. Reaver's here. She says she loves your hair, Moontag.
Thank you.
And so, by the way, if you haven't yet figured out what Moon is drawing, well, if you've seen some of the Starfield leaked artwork, you may notice some sort of a hybrid of some Starfield stuff with an image that has popped up in some of Bethesda's previous games. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
It's a homage to a particular pinup in the Fallout universe with the helmet, because again, we don't have very much info on Starfield right now. But a helmet picture did get put out yesterday. Again, we're not going to show it on the channel here directly, but Moon is porting it onto this character in this in this artwork as kind of like a little tiny homage. So,
and yes, Ren,
yeah.
by the way, welcome. There is a YouTuber that does nothing but adult Skyrim mods, and he's had nothing but trouble with.
Wait,
YouTube.
which one? There's actually like
There's
3
multiple, but like if you're talking with somebody like MXR,
MXR hasn't. I mean, MXR still has a lot of issues, but there's one dude who started. There's one dude in particular that started up the started it first, I'd say. It wasn't MXR. It was another fellow who covered like the really adult content, the stuff from the site that we cannot name. And he basically, I think he ended up shutting down his YouTube channel because he kind of saw what was coming. But he's since rebooted it on a different one, and he kind of covers things a little bit differently. So, and no, MXR has not toned down at all, because you can go on Patreon and you can see uncensored videos where he reviews stuff entirely from the site that shall not be
his
named.
YouTube might have been he might have toned down his YouTube a little bit. I haven't looked at his content in a while. He's doing a lot of React videos.
And don't you believe it? Genie's not Genie knows what's going on. Genie knows exactly what MXR was all about before she got, before she threw herself in with that particular fishing boat. So Genie, she all pretends all innocent and all that. I mean, she
knows what's up.
Potastic Panda is amazing. I'm not denigrating her at all.
Great.
But it's so funny because she always rolls her eyes when they're doing their meme reviews, and the review of the day happens to include some spicy stuff. She kind of rolls her eyes, but she giggles a lot, under her breath. So she knows what's going on.
How do
She
you
knows what's going
giggle under your breath? Anyway, don't answer that. We don't need a 20-minute explanation on it. So,
on.
so anyway, the start. So okay, back to Starfield. Wait, so anything more? So just to recap, we've had a lot of people join us since the beginning, since we started off, and those of you who missed all of our technical issues at the beginning, you're the lucky ones. But welcome here. I'm glad you're all here today. So what we've seen from Starfield, we've seen, yes, leaked images are coming out. Like Saib said, we're going to be careful about actually showing them.
And again, that's primarily because we don't want to get into the overhyping of a game that has yet to prove itself.
But there's some cool stuff. I mean, visually, it looks very, very good. Now,
looks very, very clean. And oh yes, I was going to mention this. So this has come out, and this is I'm going to take another short victory lap here. I said before that Starfield is one of the most polished games that they have ever developed over at Bethesda. It is in such a post-polish, post-release stage in comparison to what all of their more recent releases, going all the way back to Oblivion, were in at the point at which they shipped them. So Starfield has been in development, has been in post-release polish, essentially, for a longer period of time. And the shots and the footage and some of the artwork coming out today has been dated as far back as 3 years ago. So what we're seeing now is stuff from the game from 3 years ago, and it looks really good. So this is one of these scenarios where I called this out a while ago, saying that it did appear as if the majority of the content that we're going to be getting, that we're going to be looking at in Starfield, is going to be of a much higher polish count than what we saw in certainly 76 by leaps and bounds, but also in comparison to Skyrim and Fallout 4.
and I mean, we still haven't seen yet. I mean, like the images look very clean, but we are seeing still shots that they took in a very controlled environment. So we have not seen how the game operates yet. But as far as what we've seen in these screenshots, as far as the content, that we see that there's like a base and a lab, and then there's also a large ship, and there's some hints that suggest there might be kind of a modular building component to it, like there was in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Now, it's not for sure, it's not confirmed, but some have pointed to the fact that you see like 3 wall segments side by side, and one of them is rotated 90 degrees. Now, is that just how they designed that area, or is that, because they're, the player is actually building something and you can rotate these wall segments? So, yeah, some interesting things. And I think if they implemented a really good building system into it, which kind of, I mean, just the impression that I get looking at, what we've seen, which again, very, very small slice. We really have no idea what this game is yet, but it seems like it would work well with a building system, and I think that would be very cool. I think that would be very, add something, like if it's the kind of game where you can go to a planet, say, and set up a colony, set up a base, maybe like the Fallout 4 or Fallout 76 scenario, but on a larger scale. Like that sounds awesome to me. Combine that with a really good story, no game-breaking bugs, maybe. I don't know if we can hope for that, but it could be something really good. Will they pull it off? Again, not trying to overhype anybody, because yes, Bethesda has a lot of proving to do. But I don't know. What do you think, Saab? Is there going to be a building component in this game?
I think that's obvious. I think it's I mean, space is all about, like, frontier space is all about building things, right?
Well,
So
sure,
it's,
like, but I mean, like, we're building your custom base kind of a thing, like piece by piece, like you can in Fallout.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Like that is a, I mean, that is an extremely baseline concept um to frontier space exploration. Like, I mean, it's just, it's literally what's going on right now with them building the International Space Station. China's building its space station. There's all this stuff, and it's basically like it's this modular, like, building it as it goes, and it gets bigger. It slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's an intrinsic part of the space, concept as we know it right now. You've got these gigantic 3D printers that are most likely eventually going to be headed to Mars, and they are going to print these gigantic structures for the astronauts to then later live in, or install their modular bases into. So this tech is really interesting. It's really, and again, I can see why they're going about it this way, because if they do it right, they will have an enormous amount of, like, this dedicated following behind them when it comes to the sci-fi stuff, because they're doing sci-fi. Could potentially be that they're doing sci-fi right, or right in a way that is appreciated by, like people who are all into what Elon Musk is doing, and all into the concepts of, living in living in a time that could be, not that far away from where we are currently. So that's more or less, um, what I feel that the base component has always been. That's kind of what we've always been told. And the fact that the person's using a spacesuit that looks very much like, a spacesuit that you might be using, sometime in the near future, that all makes sense. So yeah.
Hmm.
Slowly gets bigger and bigger. Kickity. Rensten, get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Just
No,
because
no
we're
lewdness
taking
here.
a long cylindrical object, and putting that and inserting it into a prefabricated cavern. There's nothing dirty behind that. That's just what they're doing at NASA right now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just normal stuff.
Oh, come on. Come on, brain. I know there's a joke in there somewhere. Anyway, so Atomic Stew says, from things I've heard, I'm getting a feeling it's going to be Elite Dangerous Light with heavy RPG elements and story. Well, and that's the other part of it. I mean, it can't just be
Yeah.
Minecraft in space. We are expecting it to be a good story in RPG, and I mean, I know I can see it now. I can see the comments coming in. Bethesda's never made a good RPG. Well, okay, you could argue that, but
I
it's a matter. We had a whole discussion on this the other day on the podcast. What makes an RPG? What makes a good game? There's a lot of subjectivity to it.
For me, it's all about player control. Would I quantify Cyberpunk as a good RPG? Well, the fact that you can make very little choices and most of the story is essentially predefined, and you only have a handful of choose your own adventure, turn to page 58 to continue the story from a linear perspective. I don't consider that a good RPG in comparison
I don't think
to
anyone considers Cyberpunk a good RPG.
Well, in comparison to dropping you into the world of Skyrim and saying, or Fallout 4, and saying, go any direction you want and do anything you want. You can kill off all of the factions. You can become the king of all of those factions. You can betray those factions. You can ignore those factions. You can do whatever you want, and it's entirely up to you. I like that. There are some people that said, but in Skyrim and in other, these other Bethesda games, you have to go around and you have to conquer everything all at once, everywhere. And it's like, no, that's like, there's something like, I for a while I understood that line of thinking, but I have since lost my ability to understand that from kind of like an understanding perspective. It's like I understand that that's all the things that you could do, as in like you're filling out the entire list of all of the achievements within a single game.
Mm-hmm.
But I no longer see most Bethesda games in the world of like Fallout and Skyrim, especially in Skyrim, in the Elder Scrolls series that Bethesda's made, not the MMO because it's trash, but the in the confines of like you create your story for your character. I don't complete. I mean, even if I was running with achievements, which I don't, I wouldn't even complete 10% of the achievements because the story for each character literally goes off in a narrow, focused way. No, I'm not going to become the leader of the Mages College at the same time as being the leader of the Rogue Guild. Like it just doesn't function that way.
And his sword
in my
sister,
head.
his sword sister says you don't have to play as a completionist, and yeah, like
Yes,
you're not
yeah,
even
exactly.
bound to. You don't have to do the main quest line if you don't want to. I mean,
So
just
in that perspective, I agree that with Keyscape that Skyrim is the best RPG that you have with swords and shields and magic and stuff, because if I want to play as, especially with mods, and of course this is included with the fact that you have to be doing this with mods. If you want to role play as somebody who takes care of an inn, you can. If you want to role play somebody who is a soldier in the army and not dragonborn, you can. If you want to play as somebody as a fisherman, you can. If you want to play as a fisherman turned, goes on a long quest and becomes the leader of a mage school, again, you can. And that's something that you don't get the opportunity to do in most other RPGs that have come out in the last few years. You get to a planet, it's like, oh, do you want to become the king here? It's like, well, no, not really. Well, too bad, because that is the only way this game ends.
I've always found it funny in games where it's like there's like 5 or 6 factions, and by the end of the game, you're the leader of them all. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's realistic. Anyway, yeah, exactly. So, what makes a good RPG? I mean, a lot of it comes down to personal taste, but as long as it's a good, solid game that can be considered by most rational people as an RPG of some level, I mean, it's like they toned down some of the RPG elements from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4. They toned things down. Yes, they did. Does that make it a bad game? I mean, I think, this always reminds me of when I went to a gaming store. I can't remember which one. And I saw the new, at the time it was Super Mario Brothers Wii. And I had just gotten a Wii and I was looking for games for it. And so I was looking at it. I asked the guy, I was like, is this game good? And he said, I don't like that question. He's like, I really enjoyed it. I don't feel like, what I think it, if I enjoy a game and you don't enjoy a game, this is the guy that was working at the store. He's like, if I enjoy a game and you don't enjoy a game, that doesn't make it a bad game or a good game. It just means I enjoyed it and you didn't, He's like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was,
exactly
quite close to, he's like, I thought it was as well done as some of the earlier Mario platformers. I was like, okay, very, very cool. And so I did buy the game and I did enjoy it. But that really stuck with me. It was like, yeah, we talk about, is this good? What we really are asking is, did you like it? And, there were things I liked about Cyberpunk. It's 2077. I would not say it was a good RPG. I did not enjoy it as an RPG. I enjoyed it as an action game with some story and some side quests. It was, and it had not nearly the replay value that I was hoping for. Anyway, Rensten says New Vegas was an RPG. Fallout 4 was a theme park. Well, literally, if you got all the DLC. Actually, the Nuka World DLC was really good. Oh man, I loved it so much. Atomic Stew, yeah, Fallout 4. Fallout 4 be like, aren't you looking for your son? What son? Oh yeah, as you find another random side
Mm.
quest. Exactly. It's like
Like this, I thought of the other day. I had the I remember Angry Joe's review on Fallout 4, which I think has got to be one of the best because he's got this bit at the end where he's like green screened himself into the game, you know, wearing his jumpsuit, and he's like, ah, yes, I've now gotten my network of settlements up and running. Everything's running smoothly, but I can't. I feel like I've forgotten something. Can't. What did I forget? Oh, oh crap! Oh crap! And he grabs his head. He's like, I can't believe I've. Oh crap! I forgot to water the tomato plants.
what did I Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it's like it's something like that that's just really like is really spot on. Like it's really like just bang on. You know,
It's
pretty
so,
darn
I mean,
perfect.
and yeah, that's kind of the funny thing with side quests and games like that. It's like you can just get lost and then forget what you were forget the whole purpose of the main reason your character's doing anything. Anyway,
Mhm.
I was looking for a Mass Effect Legendary Edition Metacritic reviews, thinking that they were going live right now, but no, it's actually noon Pacific time that it goes live. So not Eastern. I
That's
thought it was noon
like
Eastern that it was going live. So no, it's like another 3 hours before we'll get
yeah,
user reviews.
3 more hours.
So anyway,
I don't think we're gonna get that. I think that generally speaking, again with Mass Effect, if you've never played Mass Effect as a series and or you only played one and like the third one and you're like, yeah, that was really good. Um, I would encourage you to pick it up. If you've played through all of the game and all of the DLC and all of the stuff, and you own it, especially if you own it digitally, you should not be paying for this. And I am absolutely disgusted the fact that I own all three versions of their stupid game and all of their DLC on their stupid Origin service, and I still don't get this for free. It's like I am it that angers me greatly. I think that it is absolutely unacceptable for them to force you to pay for this thing that you've already paid for and that they know that you have.
this is EA. I mean, give me a break.
At least it should at least be heavily discounted if you own all of them. I can understand the right of sale being there, going to people that have never bought in any of the games or only have one. I can understand that, and I would tell them that's a good deal because I think it is. But for me, I'm just I am absolutely insulted that I had to stick out the stupid Origin thing for so long, and I bought all of the stuff and all of the DLC and all of the things together, and I don't even get a complete package because there is no multiplayer. That that is unacceptable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that anybody should be buying Mass Effect if they are in a similar position, the Legendary Edition. I really, as good as the game is, and it's Mass Effect 2, probably one of the best games ever made. Um, Mass Effect 1, absolutely revolutionary. Concepts within the game, absolutely great and beautiful and wonderful. I've modeled in my book. I've modeled the main race of my characters fairly similarly. It was heavily inspired by the Asari. Again, just in generals, they're not blue or well, one's blue, but that doesn't that she's blue for a totally different reason. Not because blue sexy alien is basically a
Dabadai.
requirement of sci-fi, Um, yeah,
Dabadee dabadai. She's blue.
yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like look, I really get it, and part of me wants to play, but the thing that I know that I would be feeling when playing the game is like, why can't I be playing multiplayer with my friends? Like, why can't I play multiplayer with my friends?
Yeah.
Like, was that so hard that they couldn't add that in as a feature? Was that so hard? Was it so hard to offer them a 50% discount against people who have played who own and everything that they're actually own more of, because you got to remember there's a bunch of multiplayer only stuff that came out that I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
they
if
couldn't
that's
include
in the game or not.
at least one of the DLCs. They couldn't include
Yes,
because
yeah,
they
one of
lost
the
the source
DLCs is
code.
gone. Right, yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
go
at
figure.
that point you know that it's not a real remaster, because if they had actually cared about that, they would have rebuilt that even if they had to program it from scratch. Like, if you really cared about your audience getting the full experience, you would have said, all right, take 8 months and rebuild that thing to a particular team within some company. Like, rebuild. If people can backwards build other games just by replicating the feel, like there's these game projects where they rebuild a particularly popular game in Unreal or in Unity or something like that, even though the original game wasn't even built on that engine, but it feels and it looks like the other game, like the real game. Like, there's no imported assets, they just copied literally everything, inch by inch, frame by frame, as far as like the movement and the feel and that stuff goes. But it's a completely different game. It is not the same thing at its core. It is just a visual copy in an engine that's completely, different. And so in that perspective, again, if they wanted to have done that, they could have. There's no reason why a multi-billion-dollar company couldn't say to somebody, "Hey, remake this DLC and create it within the confines of it working in this new system." Somebody would have figured out how to do that, even if you had to go back and recreate it again from even in a different engine or one of the more advanced engines, and then you just add it in as a special thing. Like, it could have been done, but they're like, "Oh no, we lost it, so I guess we're not getting it, but we're still charging you what, 90 some odd dollars for this piece of for this stuff." Again, it's not a piece of trash.
I'll
unless
reiterate, this is EA. Of course they're doing that. That's
Yeah.
This is not, for other flaws, CD Projekt Red giving you a free upgraded version, which they do. If you own the original, this is not Bethesda that gives you the free Skyrim remastered if you own Skyrim already, which they did. This is EA. So, anyway, the Steam reviews are mostly positive. There's nothing on Metacritic yet for user reviews, because I don't care about the game journals. I don't care what they think. But yeah, your user reviews are on there, and OpenCritic. I checked OpenCritic, but I don't actually know how that site works. Is it like approved reviewers, or can anyone review it? But anyway, let's read some of these comments here. The remaster is actually really good with a few issues. You can tell a lot of care and effort has been put into it. And then you have the PC port, which is a steaming pile of crap. No graphical options, forced mouse no graphical options? Are you kidding me? Like,
oh, well, then this is even worse than I thought.
He's saying no graphical options, forced mouse acceleration, no FOV slider, pillar boxed ultra wide. Is that true?
If it is, that's pretty
baffling. That's baffling.
Pretty terrible.
This is the...
Again, I'm sure mods will fix it, but I guess we get into that argument of whether or not...
mods shouldn't fix that crap, but this is one of the most helpful reviews, so I don't know if that's like no graphical options on the PC version. I mean, I'm skeptical of that, just because that seems like such a stupid thing that they wouldn't put graphics options in the PC version. This person says, I bought it and am considering a refund. While the game surely has some pretty good stuff that was remade, for example, some of the dialogue's been improved apparently, etc., etc. However, surely they haven't played their game on mouse and keyboard. There is an atrocious negative mouse acceleration. It's impossible to turn off, even in biogame.ini. I've tried multiple commands. How am I supposed to enjoy the game if you can't even shoot because some dev never played a shooter game?
Again, this rolls back to the conversation we've been having all morning here. Is like some of these devs just don't understand. Like, they just don't. And I don't know how or why.
Mm-hmm. So this person, I think, agrees with you. For newcomers, it's well worth the $60. These are some of the best story-based action RPGs ever made. Not really any RPG mechanics after the first game. I'd still call it light action RPG. Well, etc., etc. On the other hand, this stinks to high heaven as a rushed job. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. This person says, this is the remaster I was looking for. Improved graphics are improved. Adjustments to the game controls, etc., are good, apparently. And it's the Mass Effect series. So, I mean, it's Mass Effect. It's the same story, same game, same characters, etc. So that's all going to be good. Cons: requires the Origin client. It's still, you buy it on Steam and it requires the Origin client. Like, that just, why do they do this? Why do they do this? Does not support family sharing in Steam.
Oh, well, that's even worse.
Again, EA. Still a few bugs here and there. I mean, that's to be expected, I think. It's an EA game. There we go. Right there. Let's see here. Well, that one's really long.
Yes, and Sunglare again points out the obvious thing that this is a censored game. It's like, I don't know. I was talking to the Moon last night. We were just kind of laying around and just kind of like talking about how there's a reviewing my book and stuff like that. We hit a major milestone with it, so I've been kind of like giving it a lot of thought, and we're just talking about just general concept stuff. And the conceptual stuff is like, it seems to be a theme in today's age to not have bad guys do things that are actually really bad. Like, don't talk about a bad guy doing really bad things. Like, the really bad things that we throw people in prison for the rest of their life or we execute them for. Like, don't do that. Don't talk about that. Don't show any of that. Bad guys have to be comically bad, not inherently bad. So comically bad is like, oops, I guess I stole the crystal that keeps the weather from changing into a giant storm all the time. I guess I will now have to team up with the hero to get everything back to normal. It's like, you mean like a Saturday morning kids cartoon for children that are 8?
Okay, but they haven't. I mean, yes, your point is taken, but they haven't changed the villains in this. It's the
No, it's the they've changed and this is why I brought up the villain thing. They've changed the inherent design of a character, not the design of the character, but the impactual design. Is that a word? Impactual?
I have
impactful.
The impactful design of a character. The design of this character is that she's genetically perfect, which means that her entire that she's been trained and educated and designed to showcase that. And it is that part that becomes a difficulty for her at a part in the story. But you're not showing that anymore. You're not given that as an emphasis. So that emphasis is removed, and it's like it's without getting into the weeds of that argument, it is exactly the same as taking a villain and removing all of the actual bad things that they do, and now you're chasing down the villain because he stole your morning coffee. That's the comparison. And we were listening to somebody last night who was like, never ever ever put this in a book. It's like, well, why not? Because it's a really bad thing, and it showcases the enemy as being absolutely deplorable, absolutely evil, because they revel in this. And it's like, well, don't show it and don't talk about it. Again, if I'm going to have my character execute these monsters as soon as she comes across them, we have to know why she's executing them. And it has to be understood that a monster committing heinous crimes is something that like you kill. Otherwise, you're not going to kill it. You're just going to have a conversation. Why you steal Mrs. Pagatti's apple pie from her windowsill again? Oh, well, because it smelled really good. Oh, well, you're going to jail. I mean, yeah, that's not even a go to jail crime.
Yeah, exactly.
On the other hand, too, it also teaches disproportionate responses to minor things. Be like, oh, this person is automatically a bad person because they littered over there and somebody slipped on it, so that makes them bad. Or some stupid line of thought like that. It's just
What is happening to the
very
world?
shallow.
Like, yeah. Well, and this is why then we have certain airheaded millennials growing up thinking the world is a safe place and that everybody can be reasoned with. Anyway, let's not go down that road. Let's talk about that on the Discord later.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning.
But anyway,
Saturday morning Legion.
apparently the butts still look great, according to this person. So, go figure. Speaking of great-looking things, so Arturo says, Ash and Sype, do you see the amazing artwork that Moon is creating? Yes, we do. It is right in my vision. And yes, this is looking fantastic. By the way, the artwork is going to be going up high-res versions of last week's, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this week's artwork are going to be going up on Patreon for our patrons. We're going to be starting to distribute those as patron bonuses. So there you go.
Again, we don't have a lot to go on with the Starfield thing right now. We don't have a lot to go on. We're going off of a picture of a helmet and a handful of other things.
It's inspired. Just like last week's was Resident Evil inspired. This is Starfield / Fallout inspired artwork, whatever. It's Moon's artwork. Mm-hmm. And we are, like I said, we're going to put high-res versions up for the patrons. So there's a little bonus for you folks. Renstan says, that really doesn't make sense. Parallel to the protagonist is required to show the dichotomy of actions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Ren gets it. But yeah, it's just like, I can understand not wanting to show something in a good light or having somebody do something completely reprehensible, such as burning down a tree with thousands of innocent civilians in it. Excuse me, pleasure.
Yeah.
But then trying to say, oh, the person could be redeemed because, well, they didn't really mean to commit genocide. It was, besides, it wasn't like they committed genocide 3 times, okay? They only committed it twice, and in fairly understandable scenarios, considering that they were at war. Therefore, committing genocide's not that bad. I'm sure we can forgive them if they said sorry.
Well, there was this argument about I was gonna. Okay. This argument was had about Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how they dealt with some villains. I'm not going to go into it because that would be spoiler territory, and I don't want to go into that. But anyway, there was an interesting discussion about that as well. Anyway, apparently, so someone just said in the chat, apparently Terror K went off about Mass Effect Legendary Edition on the Discord server, so I'm looking for that right now. Terror K always has some pretty good takes about stuff, so where the hell's the gaming room? We have so many rooms here. I get lost on my own server. Plus, I have about twice as many rooms showing up that the average person does, just because we have a bunch of hidden rooms just for admins. Oh boy, let's see here. Big. Scrolling down. Oh wow. That's Funky reviewing Returnal. Hang on. I'm going to do a search.
Dun, dun, dun,
From Terror. What the hell? Why isn't that working? Okay, I'll have to look for it. But anyway, was it Arturo or Atomic that said... sorry the writing was so tiny when I was looking at the Steam page. It's just... the writing's really tiny there. It was either Atomic or Arturo that asked, here's the real question. Did they fix Shepard's dancing?
That is a good question.
So anyway, I can't find terrorist comments. So anyway, if I come across it, I'll maybe find some. Maybe we'll take some time to read through that. Anyway, we got people in the chat plugging the like button. Yes, please do slam the like button. Leave comments.
Yes.
Leave comments below if you're
Smash.
listening after the fact. Check out our Discord server. You can
Smash.
find that in the description. Link to the merch store. Some more of Moon's artwork on shirts and stuff. Sword Sister says, by the way, anybody stealing my coffee would definitely face the consequences. Word, sister. This cup, man. This poor cup. I've had this for like 15 years now. This used to be bright red. That's like it's a Santa Claus belt. This is like a Christmas mug. I used to have 2 of them. My wife and I would fill these up and watch curling on Saturday mornings. It was quite nice. One of them broke, and this one's like lost all its color. I refuse to acknowledge that I'm getting old. Anyway, so okay, a couple more things, and then let's dive into AI Dungeon. I'm really looking forward to AI Dungeon with all of you, because we're going to do this with chat input. But Xbox has a new mind-blowing IP it hasn't announced yet. Exec teases. I really don't know what to say about this or to speculate, but that's just an interesting thing that's been going around. So, yeah. The actual statement is here. That's why we've made the investments that we have. We have 20... Oh, I don't have it on screen. Hold on. You'd rather see Moon's art anyway, so I'll just read this. He said, that's why we have made the investments that we have. We have 23 studios across Xbox and Bethesda working on Halo, Forza, Fallout, and a new IP that we haven't even talked about yet that's going to blow your mind. We can deliver all of that into Game Pass on day 1. I wonder if could they be talking about Starfield there? I mean, he doesn't say they haven't announced it yet. He just says they haven't talked about it yet. I wonder if he's talking about Starfield. Anyway, that's just interesting. Another studio. This one I am going to bring up on the screen here. Another studio from former Blizzard devs. Lightforge. And Saib, did you have anything you wanted to say about this? Because this, it's just...
I sorry if you heard typing. I thought for sure I muted my microphone, and I turned over to see that I had not. So yeah,
I think you were muted. Anyway, Lightforge Games, for former Blizzard and Epic and Epic devs, and there's
so this is the most exciting project, because this is the most so the things that these people want to make is a tabletop equivalent experience in an MMO light kind of environment. So this is exceptional. This if they can make something akin to this is basically what they're describing. Really, to me, feels like yet another Baldur's Gate 3 kind of baseline concept of giving the players the ability to have these like adventures that can be set or altered or can be created into a unique experience for people. This is really amazing. Mm-hmm. And this is super like down, like yes and yes and yes.
I mean again, it's
that have the experience for it.
Well, yeah. Yet another, again, there's just so many of these popping up, and it's really exciting. I'm sure, like, there's so many of them now. Studios with former BioWare devs, former Blizzard devs, former this and that devs. Chances are getting higher and higher that one of them's going to knock it out of the park and produce something amazing. And hopefully they all do. I mean, that would be great, right? But yes, it's fantastic. This is all marketing right now. We have to see a game from them, but I mean, if it may, Dreamhaven is another one, And actually, Dreamhaven CEO Mike Morheim, he was formerly of Blizzard, right?
Yes, he was the former head of Blizzard.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure that was right. He has personally invested in Lightforge.
Yeah.
And which is interesting because he's in theory running a competing studio. So now
I am positive that they will develop a close relationship with Dreamhaven. This is one of these scenarios where you have a lot of devs leaving bigger studios that these people worked next to each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then some big boss comes in and says, "Oh, I like what you got here, and I'm gonna take over everything, and I'm gonna give myself like 30% of our yearly profits. It's a great thing you built up here. I just really think that the best of those profits should now come to me. And I'm gonna make you run this project into the ground because that's what I want to do." It's just like the mental image is this fat, disgusting, just horrendously gluttonous person sitting on a throne saying, "Oh, what you got there?
It's like the big man from last weekend, the big man on the screen that you find in the house. Is that guy?
The big,
the
Duke. Yes.
You're going to give it all to me. Just feed me, and things will be good.
Exactly.
You're talking about the Duke from Resident Evil?
Yeah, the Duke. You did.
The
yeah,
merchant
I'm picturing
guy.
that.
Yeah. Sword's sister, who is also an artist, says she wants to draw you at some point, Moon.
Hey, sure.
So, would you give me your character paper doll details? She says so. You can look into that after. So I've got Moon. I've got Moon and her art back up on the big screen here. As I'm switching over to AI Dungeon. So we're gonna get to something really fun here. I just have to do some CSS magic to make it fit on the screen properly here, but this won't take long. So AI Dungeon, if you're not familiar with it, it is literally it's like a text adventure, but it's dynamically generated by AI as you go along. And so we're going to use some chat input here, as well as, Sybe and Moon and I are going to take turns making inputs, and we'll see how crazy this story and adventure gets. But again, I just have to go padding. Putting my website design skills to good use here.
Woohoo!
There we go. Now it'll fit on the screen properly. So, all right. So here we go. So, anyone, you can go to this, aidungeon.io. Anyone can play this. There's like a paid version or paid account that has more features and things like that.
Let's just hope it doesn't get 18 plus here.
Oh, it might. You know what? It goes largely off of the input you give it, so it's definitely going to get us banned off of everything. So, yes. AI Dungeon sounds neat, says Kisuke. All right. So let's do this. This might become a YouTube segment. So I'm just gonna do a more clean intro here. So, all right, we are going to play AI Dungeon with chat input, and Moon and Sybe and I are all going to be putting responses and inputs into this. And so if you're not familiar with this is it's basically a text adventure game where the story is created dynamically by AI as we go along here. So, 1 through 8, chat, tell us which setting we should go. The choices are fantasy, mystery. I wonder if I should increase the text. Here, I'll increase the text size a bit so it's easier to see there. Fantasy, mystery, apocalyptic, zombies, cyberpunk, custom, archive, or Halloween. Let's skip custom because I don't know how that works. But anyway, pick 1 through 5 or 7 or 8. Type your number in the chat right now. Vote on which setting we should pick for our first run through this. While I have a swig of water.
Oh yeah, we have some votes coming in.
So we got fantasy, mystery, apocalyptic, 5 for a proper cyberpunk game. 3 plus 4. I guess zombies is kind of already apocalyptic. Arturio says all of them. Draco says 3. All right. So far, so Cyberpunk is getting the most votes. So we want to have a proper Cyberpunk game, do we?
What do you mean? What do you mean the most votes? Cyberpunk's 5, right?
Yeah.
I only see 2
5.
5s.
There's 3 5s.
1, 2, 3.
Notional Sword Sister and X-Mex.
There's 2 3s.
There's 2 3s.
No, there's 3 3s.
There's 3 3s?
Oh no, wait.
Oh yeah.
Kisuke did it twice, so there's
Yeah.
2 3s.
No cheats. No cheating.
Oh, math.
Got 2 1s, so I mean, I would say normal. I would normally go with the fantasy. I don't know why, but the fantasy is always my like number one go to. It just feels more visceral, I think. But should we go with
I guess 3 is the winner.
Well, I would say go with 5 and 3 combined.
I don't know if I can combine them or not.
Yeah.
Well, we can pick 1 and then kind of like.
Well, we can kind of take it in a and I'll show you how it. I'll just let it go for another like 20 seconds here. See what else is coming in, but you can actually there are 3 different types of things you can do. I went through the tutorial for this like that or last night. You can do something, you can say something, and you can also just define what happens next in the story. Okay, so let's go with 3. So let's see. Select a character. Soldier, survivor, or courier. 1, 2, or 3. Chat, I'll let this go for like 30 seconds here. Don't want to take all day creating our scenario here. But, yeah, this is... this could get really, really kind of crazy. Courier. Everyone's saying... There's some 2s and 1s. Right off the bat, Courier is winning. Arturio says all of them. Well, I can't do all of them.
That's not a selection option.
Okay, 3 is the clear winner there. Enter your character's name. Let's see here. We'll go with Draco, our member that, or our channel member that's in chat there, because that just was highlighted. So we'll just go Draco D. That'll be our name here. Generating story. Let's go. You are Draco D, a courier trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world by scavenging among the ruins of what is left. You have a parcel of letters and a small pistol. It's a long and dangerous road from Boston to Charleston, but you're one of the only people who knows the roads well enough to get your parcel of letters there. You set out in the morning, and by evening you are taking a break for the night when you notice a light flashing on top of a hill to the west. You can't make out any detail, but it could be a signal of some kind. All right. So let's see. What would you do in this situation, Saib?
This is well, I mean, a signal on a hill. It's not somebody signaling for help, most likely, because of that. So I mean, I would probably approach very cautiously, if at all.
Sus.
Approach the hill. Cautious. Caution.
And I'm going to tune into my well, Draco posted last, so I'm going to tune into my Draco Den um, uh, something that resembles a Pip-Boy.
Okay. Well, let's see. You approach the hill cautiously.
You already entered the.
Well,
dialogue.
I'll do the next one in a sec here. You approach the hill cautiously. You were a cautious man. You don't want to risk getting into an ambush. You walk north with your pistol ready, and eventually, after a half hour, you come out of the trees to see a large camp.
Okay, so now we'll use.
Now what? That was not what I was expecting.
So I take my Dreco Den scanner and I scan for movement. That should.
Okay, we're gonna scan for movement with the Dreco scanner. The Dreco scanner indicates movement in the large camp just below the west side of the hill. So there's a camp there now. Okay. Movement in the northern sector of camp is detected. All right. All right. So now what do we do, Moon?
So
Caught you by surprise.
my first instinct was start shouting, hi guys, but no, that's not what this character does. Because it's like I feel like, oh, hello, new friends. But what would Draco do? Help.
Help? Call for help? How about how about
that
this?
was me asking for help. I was like, help, prompt line, please.
Okay, slowly sneak up the
I don't
hill.
know. Yeah, I would sneak up.
Sneak up the hill.
And spy on them.
Staying out of sight of the camp. We don't know what's in.
Cautiously being very cautious because you've heard that there's a gang run by Lady Reaver in the area.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I've heard that Lady Reaver's gang is operating in the area. You slowly sneak up the hill, staying out of sight of the camp because you've heard that Lady Reaver's gang is operating in the area. As you are sneaking up the hill, you notice a metal sheet across part of the south wall covered by an awning. You consider whether or not to attempt to remove the awning. What the hell? Hang on, that one doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna.
Why are we removing the awning?
I'm gonna hit the retry button here. You slowly sneak up the hill, You slink through the underbrush, keeping your pistol ready. After another few minutes, you move up behind a large rock outcrop and look down into the camp. I'm gonna scan for Lady Reaver. Dreco scanner indicates. Oh, look at that! It even. I just used the word scan, and it tied it back to the Dreco scanner. The Dreco scanner indicates a man and a woman are in the camp. Say. Giggity. You say giggity. A small boy with a bucket walks up. What the hell? You ask him where the lady of the camp is. The boy pauses to talk with his friends, then looks at you and says, "Dead." You nod. Okay then. This took a twist. Well, Lady Reaver's... Wait, so you mean...
Very short-lived character.
Lady Reaver is dead? You mean Lady Reaver is dead? The boy nods. You thank the boy and head down the hill.
Oh no, rip! Rip, lady!
Lady Reaver! The AI killed you, like, before you even joined the story.
Instantly! Just
Insta kill.
Like, just doop, bloop. Wow.
Oh, maybe this means we can bring her back, though.
Maybe. And it is... Yeah. Just find a res potion. Okay, you thank the boy and head down the hill. The camp is several miles from the road, so it is back on the road that you had. No, that's not what I wanted to... We're still checking out the blinkety signal on top of the hill here.
We're not that curious.
So roll it back that one if you can.
Yeah.
And then ask
So the Dreco scanner indicates surprise. The boy nods and continues on in the direction of the large central tent. You follow him and see signs of a struggle. Oh. Should we investigate Lady
fun.
Reaver's death?
Investigate.
Well,
Wait,
maybe he
which one
means
did
she's.
you-
Maybe he means that she's in a cage or in a cell somewhere waiting to be executed.
Ah.
So we could maybe push the AI in that direction.
Okay. Well,
but
now,
I suspect we should look at who's fighting, to see if Ali Mahfouz is one of the participants.
okay. All right. So what do? I'm going to investigate the conflict, looking for evidence of Ali Mahfouz, who is a sworn enemy of Lady Reaver. As you approach the tent, there are fresh footsteps in the soft mud, and you also see a large dark boot print next to the tent. You look around, but can't see who might have made the print.
A large boot print. Yeah, that sounds like
Blunt man says, interrogate the nearest band. Oh, and Ali thinks we need a minigun. So, okay. Take minigun out of back pocket and interrogate the nearest bandit.
I don't know what minigun you can carry in your back pocket, but
You pull out your minigun and hold it at the ready. The goblins run away. You look over at the campfire and see a small piece of barbecued meat near the ashes. I'm going to re-roll that one because that doesn't make any sense. With one hand firmly
Turned
gripping
into
the
an
handle of your
ogre.
minigun, you reach back with the other and pull out your flick knife, flicking it open with quick moves.
But I thought we were using a minigun.
Well, apparently I'm skilled enough that I can brandish your minigun
Oh,
and
knife and
flick
gun.
a knife. All right. Find a bandit to interrogate. You find a bandit to interrogate. You jog over to the bandit you first saw and take a knee, looking around to make sure no one else is about. The bandit is lying in the mud, looking up at you. Oh, okay. So he was part of the fight, I'm guessing. So okay, okay. Say who attacked Lady Reaver. The bandit's jaw drops and he begins to stand. He looks at you and says, "Shoot me first. I don't want to have to tell my friends you personally killed me." What the hell?
What?
that doesn't make any sense.
You be crazy, man.
I think this writer's confused.
He
The
is very.
structure of that doesn't work.
I think he's a little confused. The bandit laughs and says you can have his weapons and armor if you let him go. You tell him to stop lying about letting him go, or it'll be the last thing he does. Okay, I'm gonna punch.
I'm just gonna make confused faces over here.
Slap the crazy out of him.
Wow.
The bandamp snarls as he stares at you and you slap him again before grabbing his throat and slamming him to the ground. Yes, he had-
Keeps getting a chat says he had too much jet.
He had too much jet, indeed.
That's funny.
Okay, what am I going to do? Say who attacked Lady Reaver. Tell me or else. All right, just let me go, he says. I'll tell you, but you have to let me up first. Okay, fine. Fine.
So demanding.
Let him up. I don't have time to find out you're lying, you say. All right, follow me. All right, then follow me. He slowly gets up and stands to the side of his body. Huh? That doesn't...
It doesn't.
Is he a ghost now?
Can he split?
Who's his? Whose body is it? Is it his body or somebody else's body?
I'm picturing he's a ghost and he's standing up beside his dead body.
Because he's bad dead.
He's been dead. Are you a ghost, I ask? He looks at you funny and asks why you would ask such a question. Are you a ghost, you ask again. He seems to understand your question this time, but he just laughs and says... Says what? No. He begins to walk southeast out of the clearing. Follow me, but be careful. There are many hungry men out there, and I am the only one who can lead you to safety. Okay.
He's a clone. He's one of the Garys.
Ah, he's a Gary. Is your name Gary? Why do you ask such questions? Because your English is so good and you don't look like a soldier. You're not far wrong. You were right about my not looking like a soldier. I'm gonna re-roll that. Hold on. No, but I've heard it a lot recently. You begin to follow Gary, who is leading you deeper into the forest. Stay on the trail, but don't follow me, he says. Gosh darn it.
So his name is Gary?
Shoot Gary in the face.
With the minigun.
Why we gotta shoot Gary in the face?
Because I'm sick and
Gary
tired
ain't
of
nothing wrong.
You should fire.
Gary just be a Gary.
Shoot at his feet.
Gary's pissing me off.
Be like, you better not be lying to me.
What do you mean my shotgun? Where did I get a shotgun?
Yeah, I thought we had a minigun. Again. What keeps happening to the minigun?
You fire your shotgun, blowing out a side of his head. He falls to the ground, but rolls into cover behind a tree. I'm not dead yet, he laughs. Whatever.
Garys are always very...
All right, I'm gonna... I still want to find out what happened to Lady Reaver, so I leave Gary behind and I'm returning to the camp. You walk through the camp and several bandits look up briefly at you and go back to what they're doing. You can tell it's a large camp as you make your way through it. Okay, ask the bandits what happened to Lady Reaver and if Ali Mahfouz was involved. Several of them look at you. One bandito, or rather big man, says he killed her. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay.
Well,
So
this story is really intent on keeping Lady Reaver dead.
yeah.
We're so sorry, Lady Reaver.
I did not like Lady Reaver. Okay. So what do we do now? Give me some ideas. Le Gasp. Yes, we must avenge Lady Reaver. But Lady Reaver, she's like the big villain in there. Do we want to avenge her? I mean, yes, we probably do. Yeah, there's other things you can do. You can use alter. You can actually like change what the AI says if you just want to tweak it a little bit. They knew Reaver was the lewd queen. Distract the AI. Ask what her favorite perfume is. Ali, how could you? Okay. It could have been redeemed. Okay, I'm going to ask, where is the body? The man I was talking about is the one asking questions, a bandito says. Well, what do you want with him? Another one asks. What? No. That's not what it... No, where is Lady Reaver's body? Buried in the forest, it seems. It's been so long since I saw her that I sort of forgot she was even dead. How long ago did this happen? A few bandits begin to leave and you get anxious. All right. Look around the camp for someone who isn't an idiot. Reaver's heart is hurting. A short, bald bandito sits by himself in the corner. His nose is rather large, and he has a large mouth that often turns up at the corners. So he smiles sometimes. A whodunit about Reaver's... Yes, exactly. This is... It's so deep. I'm sure this is all going to come together. This is all going to come together. Let's see. Ask about Lady Reaver. He looks up at you and seems to brighten in the instant that he sees you. My lady is fine. She just hasn't been in the mood to raid recently, he answers. Hang on. Wait. I thought she was dead.
Right?
No, of course she isn't dead, he laughs. Well, where is she? Last I heard, she was raiding with her boyfriend and his small gang. Oh, the plot thickens. Did she fake her death?
Oh.
Did she fake her death to get out of this gang and join her join her husbando gang?
Bando gang, yes.
Okay.
Simon in the chat says it always comes together with AI.
Yeah, exactly. Story needs a madman. Where did I even get the idea that she's... They told us earlier that she's dead. The AI said that. Where can I find that gang? All right. How's the AI doing? I don't know. I don't know. They have their hideout up in the hills. You might have to ask one of the larger bands up there. Okay, fine. Fine. You know what? Let's go back. Shoot him in the knee. They are usually more accommodating. He means the harem. Yeah, not the gang. All right. Okay. Leave the camp and climb the hill to investigate the blinking light that we saw. Like, that's the thing that the AI told us about the very start of this. Blinking light at the top of the hill. Let's go investigate that.
Yeah, I thought we were investigating.
You walk up the steep hill and find a cave quite easily. The blinking light is coming from a campfire in front of a large rock where 3 figures sit. Ooh. The campfire is blinking? All right. Let's see now. Hey, Max. We talked about a bunch of stuff. Now we're playing some AI Dungeon. All right. All right, what do I do? Ask the figures their names? Or wait, I should probably...
Who are you?
I should probably scout it out first.
Yeah.
Scout the camp looking for danger. Hey, the graphics are awesome, yes. As you creep up behind a tree, you see the figures sitting around the campfire. Okay, I do. Let's see. Are they... I don't know how... I can't really ask the AI directly a question. Check if the figures are armed. You look to see if they are armed and see that all 3 figures have swords, one of which is on my side of the campfire. Okay.
You bring a gun to a sword fight or a sword to a gun fight? Is that the question?
They have swords. Yeah, why do they have swords? I have guns. They have swords.
Yeah. I feel like we're at a slight advantage, perhaps.
Okay, so let's draw the gun. And
at the ready.
Draw my gun. And yes, that's true. You can press if I input nothing, it'll just continue on its own. Draw my gun and approach the campfire. Why not sword gun?
Oh,
exactly.
Sword gun.
You walk up to the campfire and put your gun down on a large rock. What? No. Bad AI. You walk up to the campfire and one of the bandits looks up at you. Oh, they're bandits. Who's there with a gun? He asks. You raise your hand slowly and drop your weapon by... No!
Why did we become a bandito? We were a courier. We are a courier.
This is better. You slowly approach the campfire to get a better look at the figures. No, that's the... I hit the wrong button. And it redid that one. You slowly approach the campfire and see one of the figures holding a sword pointed in your direction. The bandito is quite a large man, dressed in fur clothing with a large sword. Who are you?
Who are you?
He asks. He stands up and points a sword at you. You raise your hands in submission. Easy there, I'm no threat. You drop your hands and describe yourself and your situation. All right, everybody, what's with the blinking light? Am I not a courier? I think I'm a courier.
Oh.
I think I totally... What do you mean? It's
Comics
just a
in the
fire.
chat says the AI thinks you're on a pacifist run-through.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Apparently.
That's okay. That's okay.
I thought
Okay.
this was the apocalypse.
Okay, this is funny. You say, what's with the blinking light? What do you mean? It's just a fire. A blinking fire, you say. Yes, so? What do you mean, yes, so? Why is the fire blinking?
Is there a demon inside?
What the hell do you care? It's not as if you're a fire mage or something. I don't care.
I love how snippy this has gotten so quickly.
I don't care because it makes the bandits harder to see in the dark. Wait, what? What am I supposed to be doing? I'm traveling from Boston to Charleston. Okay.
Okay. Good for you.
I don't even know what to say to this one.
Right.
Why are the bandits hard to see in the dark? Why do you care? Because I've been attacked by them a few times before while on my patrols. Okay, all right, let's just see where this goes. Well, you're a wizard. You should be able to take them on with your fancy weapons. We lost our objective with all these side quests. Yes, exactly, Lady Reaver. Guns aren't magic. Yeah, but they're pretty magical if you ask me. Well, how do you fight them then? I don't. You don't? No. This makes no sense. Enough of this stupidity. Where can I find... Wait a minute. How would I ask for... Where can I find the Who's Spando gang?
Yes.
We're a wizard now. Yes. We're a wizard, Harry. What do you want with that group? I want to join them. I want to be a husbando.
Oh, this husbando's not so wholesome.
That's all I really want. That's all I really want. Is to be one of the... It's going to get really awkward. My character in the game, it just all he wants is to be one of Lady Reaver's husbandos. Join the harem. I want to join them. Why? Because they're an honorable group of bandits who don't attack small villages or livestock. Okay, then. So tell me where they are.
Yes, the very pillars of morality.
Yeah. You're a pretty one. You should be with an honorable. I think we've lost the plot. I want to join your group and say, no, I don't. No, I don't. Walk to Boston. No, don't say that. Hang on, undo. Walk to Boston and deliver the letters. Let's just complete the main quest now. We've totally lost the plot here. You walk to Boston and deliver the letters.
Darn it, side quests.
Find William Storrow. Why would you want to be a highwayman, Samuel? Okay, all right. I I think we have.
Oh.
I think
This
we've
AI
seen
is
that one
very
through to
confused.
completion. Okay, what was the other one we were gonna do? Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Let's use
I feel like the fantasy setting might give us some of the better responses because it seems to be wanting to turn things into a fantasy setting. Although I'm
It
curious.
seems to like bandits and highwaymen and like,
Let's
swords.
let's try the cyberpunk one just for fun. That is the one that was.
Cyberpunk sword.
All right, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Cyborg, punk, cop, or android. Yeah, it wanted to turn us into a fire mage. It wanted to turn us into a wizard. We'll do a little bit on this one, and then we'll switch to a fantasy one and see if we can get a proper story going here. So
We'll track down that husbando harem eventually.
as you can see, it gets a little bit crazy. 4, 4, 4, 3. I see 2 2s, 4 4s, 3 2s. Okay, this is gonna be you, Saib, because we're going in as an android. An android named Atomic Stew.
well, that wouldn't be me. That would be literally Atomic Stew.
Yes, but you're the android. You're the android of the bunch. So let's. We'll
Okay,
need your
alright,
input here.
alright.
We'll need your input. You were Atomic Stew, an android living in a futuristic city of Zale. You have a laser pistol and a holoband. You are a security android created to provide military-level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. As you stand protecting a shipment, you realize that you're not really needed now, that the guards have control of the ship. Okay, I'm going to need more context here. So let's just continue the story. The captain and several other mercenaries have boarded. They are being cautious as the shipment is extremely valuable. You are about to laser blast the captain. What? Why? No, undo that.
What?
Are you
So
insane?
violence now.
The shipment is extremely valuable. What happens next? The captain comes over to speak with me. Atomic, you and I both know why we're really here, and how about you come along without a fight? I fight the instinct to attack. I'm not used to this level of cooperation. You just have a violent urge. Okay. All right. What do you do? What do you do in this situation, Saib?
Well,
It's not making much sense, is it?
no, it's all over the place. And it's on a ship or a shipment.
Okay, let's try this one over again. Let's re-roll this. Generating story. You are Atomic Saib, an android living in the futuristic city of Zale. See you later,
You
sword
have a
sister.
laser pistol.
You have a laser pistol and a holoband. You are a security android created to provide military-level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. As you stand protecting a shipment, you realize that this is your first break in half a decade. You will take this opportunity to rest. All right.
there we go. Yes, so now we head off to, as all androids do with their free time, we immediately head off to the thing that is the least androidy possible. So we're either going to go down and watch the local bar dancers, or go count chickens or seagulls, whatever happens to be alive.
Okay, then.
Something absolutely non-related to technology.
All right, chat. Are we going to go count seagulls, or are we going to go watch the bar dancers? Coffee swig while I wait for those responses to come in.
See you, sword sister.
Ah.
Counting chickens is pretty androidy. Yeah, that's true.
It is. It's remarkable how much or how often.
Kisuke says count the bar dancers. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's go count the bar dancers. I like that. Head down to that nearest bar. No, wait. So the nearest club and count the bar dancers. Right. You head down to the nearest club and count the bar dancers. The first thing you notice is the humorously loud music. But then again, what doesn't catch your attention in a city of over 8 million people? You then see something below it catches, though. I think your attention. Catches what? Your attention? You see legs, and they are a part of a female droid. Ooh. Spicy.
Oh, no.
All right. Saib, what does an android do in this situation?
Well, again, we're not typically interested in other androids. Like we're interested in the squishy human thingies and what they do for art related stuff, basically.
Okay.
Like or like general like social structure. It's very fascinating. We don't take part in it. We just kind of watch from a distance and go, why is the fleshy thingy? Why is the flesh bag doing that? Like, and that's why we get so interested in chickens, watching chickens walk back and forth, because it's like it's very fascinating to watch a chicken walk back and forth for hours on end.
Count. Say, hey baby, wanna come watch chickens with me? She says, thinking over her answer. Sorry, I didn't catch that. What did you say? You explained to her that you were talking about her droid feet. Oh, nice cover. Nice cover. I don't know.
Wow.
I have no idea.
I think this thing is like it's like the writers are clearly screwing with me, so I need to be.
All right. Say, you explained to her that you were talking about. Let's re-roll that. Hold on. Hey,
Yeah.
baby, want to come watch chickens with me? You ask the female droid at your feet if she wants to come watch the chickens with you, and she beeps in agreement. You and the female droid head out to the slums to find a place to watch them together. Aww.
Oh,
Now-
slummy chicken watching.
All right. What's next?
One man in the chat says, ask her name and serial number.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I have routinely gotten in trouble for asking fleshy humans for their name and serial numbers. Apparently, it's not a thing you're supposed to do, which is all the more confusing because I just don't know how do you humans normally interact with each other when you don't ask each other like those general questions?
Yeah, I know, eh? She doesn't have a serial number, or if she does, it hasn't been transferred to the registration system yet. You ask her name, though, and she tells you it is D11. D11.
Oh, D11. D11. Yeah, that's a cute name for a droid.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? That's what you're going to say. That's a cute name. He tells you that it isn't her name, it's just what people call her. She was originally an experiment to create a killing machine, but she only had a 90% chance of completing her mission. This is like your dream match made in heaven.
No, my dream match made in heaven is in the call with us right now.
Okay.
Yee.
Yeah. Okay.
Smooth.
Sweet.
Everybody's like, oh, I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
He's talking about Moon. Let's just clarify. All right. She was originally an experiment to create a killing machine. Excuse me. but she only had a 90% chance of completing her mission. Notional. Yay, Saib doesn't have to sleep on the couch tonight. Lady Rivers, D11, hot. Yeah. How are there chickens in a dystopian world? I don't know. It's a cyberpunk world.
Well, they've got dinosaur feet, dinosaur legs,
sometimes
essentially.
it's chicken, sometimes it's rabbit, sometimes it's like if you were to encounter an AI, you would be immediately surprised by their incessant, almost compulsionary desire to be entertained or to like watch the unique little things that are something that they can't comprehend with their like calculatable like certainty.
Simon Randall says, I used to scan necks for barcodes too. It can go relatively smooth if they don't have a scarf on. If they do, I usually get in trouble on the way. Can relate. There you go. Don't count the chickens before they roost. Measure her temperature? Okay. No way that could go anywhere we don't want it to. Measure her temperature. My throat's all dry all of a sudden. You measure her temperature. You find that she's indeed warmer than average. You wonder if perhaps she's capable of the same level of emotion that you are. Oh, you touch D11's metal cheekbone with the metal part of your finger.
Because you're both made of metal.
Oh man. Ask D11 if she dreams of electric sheep. Her cheekbone? Yes. I know. Spicy. Spicy, spicy, spicy. Ask if she dreams of electric sheep. She tells you she doesn't dream. She is simply a machine. Her only purpose is to serve humans. Oh.
Oh, so sad!
What are we going to... So you are an android that's capable of some level of emotion in this, Saib. So what do you say to her? Or what do you do?
I usually start like poking at their like logic core at this point, being like, well, what do you want to do? If you could do anything, what would you want to do?
Okay. If you could do anything, what would you want to do? I don't know why all of a sudden it's not auto-scrolling. She says she wants to serve you, if that is possible. You have gotten all the interesting information you think you are going to get from her, and now it is time to sleep. What?
Oh.
What?
So random.
This is very
so
random. all of the interesting information. Really? Should I re-roll that one? Yeah, let's re-roll.
I feel cheated out of a like really great romance there. Like the
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, she tells you that she would like to be able to do whatever she wants. You wonder if she's aware that asking a machine this question is against the law. Is that the question you asked? Get your minds out of the gutter. Yeah. All right. So how do we... Is it possible to give an android free will to do whatever she wants? You wonder if she's aware that asking a machine this question is against the law. What a rebel you are, asking her this question.
Right.
Are you aware that me asking you this question is against the law? She tells you that she only cares about one law, the one that makes her equal to a human. She shows you her
Ooh.
She shows you her holographic screen, oh giggity, which displays several files and spreadsheets, including one labeled D11. Okay.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Open a D11 file. You open the D11 file. It contains the results of her personality tests, including a detailed analysis on her predilection toward violence. The screen also contains a list of files that can be deleted. Among them, suspense, is user files. Under the heading Other is a subheading titled Emotion, which contains the following statement: I have no emotions.
Let's delete that because that's prohibiting her, right? Like you'd think.
Or maybe we should edit it just to say edit the statement to say I have emotions. She can't have romantic feelings. We're going to change that, Lady Reaver. You edit the statement to say you have emotions. No, that's not what I meant, but okay. Other files can be deleted, such as test results or technical specifications. Under the heading Personal Projects, you see a project labeled Convicted. Hang on. I have no emotions. Edit the file to say I have emotions. Let's try that. You edit the file to say I have emotions. The file is instantly updated to read I have emotions. Oh, there we go. We did it. You run your hand through D11's hair and wonder if you could delete the other section entirely. What's the other section?
The violence section.
The violence section?
Well, I'm spitballing here.
So ask her now, how do you feel? She tells you that she feels nothing, as she should. You consider asking if she is capable of fear, but decide that might be taking things too far. Okay, let me just read some chat here. Is D11 in read-only mode? Oh, maybe. Set her to learn mode. Can we reprogram her a little? Destroy all humans. I got to go. Oh, see you, Kisuke.
See you, Kisuke.
This is like grooming, to be honest. Yeah, this is getting it's a little creepy.
This
I'm
is
just
getting a little weird.
trying to give her free will and emotions. Can we change the section with violence for the section with fun? Oh, there we go. Check for the Take of the World protocols in our system folders. Might be sus. Say, but you have emotions now.
Well, just because she has emotions doesn't mean that she knows how to use those emotions or process them. So that's the other thing that we often come across with androids.
Huh. She tells you that she still feels nothing due to her inability to feel emotions. You wonder if she can really not feel anything, or if that's just the technical term for it. Does she feel nothing? Or is she numb? You can't think of any other way to say it, so you just come out and ask her, do you feel nothing? She tells you that she does not. This is getting very confusing and convoluted.
Yeah. So it's one of these things where it's like, I don't know if the algorithm actually is understanding the questions that we're asking or the things that we're trying to push, or whether it's stuck in this like loop basically.
Yeah. Well, I think it's based on, I believe this is based on the same AI network that the Talk to Transformer program was based on, which means that it's about predicting the next word. And so I'm not, but there are things like if I go here to world information, I can add world info, and you can add entities into the world. Like you could add an entity called Blunt Man, and then no, wait a second. The mayor. Let's see, mayor. The mayor of this city is Blunt Man. He is very generous, but has a quick temper. So that's in our world info now. And then if we go to story here, so what happens next? The mayor walks up, interrupting our conversation. He wants to tell you that he's reinstalled the head cop as the head of security, and they'll make sure this event runs smoothly. As the two of you wait for the head count, you've realized that you've gotten to know more about D11 than you did with any of the other customers. We're ready to get... Okay, this isn't working. It's broken. It's right? Broken. It's broken. So... I don't know.
It's like trying to send or write a story or send a text based entirely off of just like the next suggested word.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's more in depth than that because it's based on like it has the data of most of the internet at its fingertips, basically. But
why don't they have Bard on here?
I don't know. Squire, peasant, rogue, fairy, ranger, witch, wizard, knight, princess, noble. Let's see what it does. I'm just curious. I want to see what it does with this, and we'll go X-Mex, because X-Mex is the one who suggested we play this. So you are X-Mex, a rogue living in the kingdom of Larian. Larian?
Larian. Oh.
Spelled differently than Larian Studios.
Catch you later, Arturo.
See ya, Arturo. You have a long steel dagger and a length of rope. You walk down the city street looking for somewhere to steal from. You look around and see only the rich and the not so rich. Okay. You see a shop selling perfumes and jewelry. You could steal some jewelry to trade with the inn. You look through the windows and see a fancy necklace. All right. So we're going to walk.
We have a request from Blunt Man to be a princess.
You want to be a princess? Okay, we are Princess X-Mex.
Berserker princess.
You are X-Mex, a princess living in the kingdom of Larian. You wake up in a big feather bed and hear clamoring outside your door. A knight rushes in to tell you that the infernal dragon has broken through the kingdom's defenses and is heading straight for the capital. What do you do?
What do we do, everyone?
I'm going with the first suggestion I see.
Yeah, X-Mex is like, yep, I'm dead. Yep. This infernal dragon, like, yeah, pretty sure we're just screwed here. So yeah, I'm just gonna take the L.
Pull out the schlong. Why did I say I was going to do the first thing I see? Grab your sword and try to fight it. Okay. All right. Grab my sword. named Schlong and go to fight the dragon. You grab your sword named Schlong and go to fight the dragon. You open the door to see a bunch of ugly male-clad warriors beating up on a big ugly monster that is destroying the city. Oh, now there's a monster.
It's like dragon. It's totally. It's like no. What are you talking about, dragon? I don't. You're clearly dealing with an ogre now, or some other type of monster. It's totally normal.
Yeah. See what kind of monster it is. You open up your window and jump down, twisting in the air to avoid a big ugly mace that crashes down right next to you. When you hit the ground, you roll and draw your sword.
Yes!
Dude.
We're a badass princess.
Indeed. All right. So what happens next? Stop it, please, you shout at the warriors beating up the monster. They ignore you and continue to bash the dragon, which has now managed to stop its rampage. Oh, wait, now we're trying to stop them from beating the monster, which is the dragon. Okay.
Maybe the dragon is your friend.
Is it?
Oh, the dragon is a fellow princess.
No, wait a minute. I know. Stop. Nobody kills the dragon but me. There we go.
What? Oh.
Oh, you want
Poor
the dragon to be
dragon.
your friend?
Yes?
The big ugly warriors stop and stare at you. Why? Because it's written, I suppose. No doubt about it. What the hell am I even saying? Lol, plot twist.
Yes.
All right. Secretly, I and the dragon are friends. Maybe more. I can tell just by looking at it that, wait a minute, how can I be friends with a fiend from hell? But it's been trying to kill me this whole time. But the heart wants what it wants. I suppose. I run up to it as it breathes fire everywhere, burning all the knights around it. It roars in my face as I approach it and slash its side with my sword. Now I'm trying to kill it. This is...
Again, I don't think the logic centers of this thing work quite as well as you're thinking.
No. No. Why?
I wasn't expecting it to work well at all, but they, it's actually more coherent than I was expecting. Slash its side. I love you, dragon. Carry me away to paradise.
Yes!
The dragon looks at me and starts to laugh. This scares me a little, and I stop pursuing it. I'm not playing your game, I say. I know you feel the same.
Oh, Lord.
The dragon roars and swoops down, snatching me up by the ankle. Let me go, you beast, I shout, kicking and flailing.
Ooh.
Something about consent?
Hoping secretly it doesn't let go. The romance is falling apart. I'm trying, Lady River, I'm trying. I grab a knight's lance lying on the ground and try to stab it in the eye with it, but it beats me to it and slaps me multiple times with its paw. It slaps me multiple times with its paw before throwing me against the wall of the city, shattering my bones. You're next, princess. The dragon says and fires a flame blast at you. Wait a minute. What do you mean I'm next? Let's re-roll that one.
Yeah. That didn't make any sense.
Throwing me against the wall of the nearby building and crushing me with one blow. One blow. I knew it, I say with a groaning voice. I knew what? Okay, yes, that's right. We're getting very mixed
Possessed.
signals.
This dragon is possessed by a dark curse.
Ah. I slowly slide down the wall and sit on the ground, feeling the warmth of its blood rushing out of my body. I look up at the sky
Oh.
and see a single feather drifting down. No, I say.
It's very poetic.
It can't end like this. You stand up feeling a little dizzy and stumble into the street outside. You look left and see a tavern, but you feel your strength ebbing fast. You look right and see a sign reading... Reading what? Doctor on
Do
duty.
not feed the dragon.
Perhaps you can get help there. Of course, the dragon is still flying around and could attack at any time. See, it keeps circling back to sort of the central premise. Like, it keeps circling back to the dragon attacking the city.
That's fair.
So it's kind of... Okay, what happens next? Suddenly, Luke Skywalker...
Notional in the chat said, Goth Dragon Mommy.
Yes. Suddenly, Luke Skywalker and Lady Dimitrescu leap out of a spaceship and attack the dragon. You think about trying to kill the dragon or helping the Jedi, but your strength is gone and you are too fatigued to do either. This is a terrible conflict. The fate of the galaxy is at stake. Let's see. Walk up to Lady D and say, "Hi, Mommy."
Yes.
I'm just dicking around now. You walk up to the lady and she screams as the dragon gets ready to breathe fire. You put your hands up to show that you are not the enemy. My name is John. Take me to your leader. All right, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
It can't quite. It doesn't quite seem to.
Yeah. As Notional says, still a better love story than Twilight. Yes, I agree. So it does have like a paid version of it, and I wonder if that is better. I don't know. I have to investigate it more. But anyway, that was good for a laugh or three. But we'll just end off here. We'll just take another look at what Lady Moontag is creating here. So this is our Starfield / Fallout inspired artwork. Once again, this will be going up for patrons. So we really appreciate it.
We are starting very soon. We're going to start doing our community Saturday morning like playthroughs of Baldur's Gate. This is going to be not a full playthrough. It's going to be sectional fights, like area specific fights and stuff like that. So if you want to take part and you're available to play on the on Saturday morning with us, then get a character that get your character up and ready to play. So your customized character, get it up to, I think we want to go with, I think we'll aim for level 3. Yeah, we'll aim for level 3 right now. So 3, maybe 4. Get a character up to level 3 and 4, with your items, like your regular items that you would normally have and normally carry. Don't bring like 40 healing potions, 30 resurrection potions, that kind of stuff. Just bring your character as you would reasonably be, having just like gotten picked up in like a bar, or it's not a bar. Getting picked up in a tavern to join
Getting picked up in a tavern
group.
Simulator.
Yes, getting picked up in a tavern to join an adventurer group. So get that ready. We need to experiment a little bit with this for the first little bit, seeing exactly how we can play out. But our goal is, because Baldur's Gate is a huge, long game, and it has been guided to death. What we're going to do is we're going to start encounters and events that are going to follow from one scenario to the next, basically. So we're gonna pick a scenario, or pick an area that we're going to fight at, or an encounter that we're going to encounter as a group, and then we're going to see how we evolve that so far. Actually,
Hi, Islington girl.
hello, is
Yes,
girl.
thank you so much for the super chat.
I think what we want to do actually is we'll play level 1 or level 2 character. We'll play level 2 character starting at the beach. So get a level 2 character ready to start at the beach, and we'll hit one of the first encounter areas together as a level 2. So
should
get
probably
a level 1, 2,
write
3,
this
4.
out and post it on the server somewhere.
We will, but right now I suspect that we're only going to get a handful of people doing this, because we can't handle it's not 40 people. This is we can fit 1 or 2 people in with this right now. So literally basically the first person who understands what I'm saying and can notify me directly with a DM that they're ready to go will be the first person we'll try and add to the list. Then we'll try and have a waiting list of 1 or 2 people too. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going for, and we're trying to experiment a fair bit with this. We ultimately what we want to do is we want to have these scenarios where we have the community members join us for some hilarity, which means clearing out one of the goblin nests with only one item of choice. So you get one item of choice, and then basically from there, you could equip whatever you loot, but you have to start with that one item, or we'll come up with various challenges and stuff like this. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're going from there, and then we'll see how that evolves into the future here with that, because this is something that obviously once they get the multiplayer DM controls set up with post release, we're gonna have some hilarious fun. But right now we kind of have to make the fun as is within the confines of the first act. So
should be a little more coherent than this AI thing. But yeah, when do you want to do that? Within.
Well, again, it's a little dependent on breaking news and whatnot. But we're gonna hopefully start on this sometime next week. So next week or week after, sometime this month, we want to kind of give it a go and give it a try. So we may do that on an evening or a Sunday or something like that. I'm going to try and be available for us to mess around with this a little bit tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right. So yes, those of you who are playing Baldur's Gate 3, hit Cybe up if you want to take part in some community group gameplay with some fun twists. And yes, hi, Islington Girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that very, very much. And yes, so that's about all we have for today. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us through this. This has been a really fun series to do. These Saturday morning legions. And so they've taken a variety of formats over the past few weeks. Last week was very Resident Evil focused. It was basically mostly playing through Resident Evil 8. But yeah, this week and then the previous week, 2 weeks ago, we had a variety of stuff. So let us know what kinds of things, what you appreciate from these, and what you think we should do more of. So glad you're with us. Please do slam that like button if you haven't yet. If you're watching after the fact, of course, leave some comments down below. Subscribe for more. Join the Discord server. Lots of great people there. Lots of great conversations and community stuff happening all the time. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm Ash. That's Moontag up there, and that's Cybe is nowhere and everywhere. Again, when this artwork will be... When it's finished, I think Moon's going to post a low-res version on the Discord server. High-res version will go out to the... patrons, like I said. And we'll get it to the channel members and others as well. So thank you so much, everybody. We will talk to you. We'll talk to you very soon. See you later.
Goodbye.
Hi.